Welcome to Private Money Secrets. I'm Keith Yackey and I'm your host, and all we talk about here is private money, real estate, and some other fun stuff. Grab your favorite beverage. Let's dive in. Hey, Keith Yackey here, and I want to just talk about this thing, this statement, this comment that is, I think, really untrue. And I think it's a myth, and I think a lot of people have heard this myth, and it's kind of run them ragged on the reef of despair and not allowed them to sail into smooth and or choppy oceans and experience life. And this is the myth. The myth of do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. You've probably heard it. I think that is the biggest load of bullshit ever. And I think it has probably caused good people who are doing good things, even great things, to lose heart and quit because they quit their job in search of this business that was their passion or their fulfillment. And they're like, oh my gosh, I loved it for 3 months, but now it just feels like work. That's crazy to me. Of course it's going to feel like work. It's work. It's work. Now, there are stages of work. And the first stage is you get paid for what you do. What result can you provide for me in my troubled area, my problem? What result can you provide for me? Then the next stage is you get paid for who you are. Because of what you've done, now you've got all this experience and wisdom to be able to share and help others navigate the pitfalls and the problem areas or the potholes on the road of life here. You get paid for what you do and did in the first part of your life or first part of your career. Then you get paid for who you are. And they actually are two different skills. One is doing the work day in and day out and providing results for others who put their time, money, trust, heart, love into you, and you help them produce a result or you produce a result for them. The second, and so you need that skill of whatever it is. You know, for me, I've raised, close to $50 million from my deals and acquired, hundreds of units and flipped hundreds and hundreds of units. And so I got paid for what I did. And I still get paid for what I do based on those deals that I've done and more deals I continue to do. That's something that I'm going to probably do for the rest of my life. I told my wife, I still want to be having sex with her at 95 and I still want to do real estate deals. So, can you blame me for wanting both? But then there's a section and sector of my life that now I kind of get paid for who I am. Not that I'm famous, not that I'm an internet celebrity, not that whenever I go anywhere, people want my autograph. That's not what I'm talking about, although that it could be taken to that scale. So Michael Jordan used to get paid for shooting hoops. Now he gets paid for having his logo on every piece of clothing that you find at every gym everywhere. So he's getting paid for who he was. You can see that example. But this example works for even just like normal, quote unquote, normal people like you and I who are not celebrities, who are not rock stars, as it were, like literal rock stars, maybe, but we're kind of like rock stars in our industry, or we're rock stars to some people who follow us. And so now I get paid for who I am, but that's a different set of skills. What is the skill set now? The skill set now is not, hey, what did I do to get this result? But it's what is the formula, the blueprint, the path, the map that anybody could follow to get the same result or similar results that I got when I was getting paid for my result. But that's a different skill set. So getting paid for who you are still requires skill and work. I had to do my hair today because I didn't want to look like a slob on this video. It's a skill I had to learn. No, the bottom line is this. Either way, it's going to feel like work. Shooting videos, creating curriculum, adding value, giving away free stuff, building funnels so that way you can get the results you're actually looking for. Making sure that I'm there to coach you and I'm able to see your blind spots to help you get around. That's a totally different set of skills that I've had to learn, acquire, master, and continue to get better at day by day than when I was just in. The only thing I did was just find deals, find money, and manage contractors. So this pernicious statement of do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, I just haven't seen it to be true. Now, are there things that I love about what I do? Of course. Do I love doing this way more than I love swinging that hammer back when I was a carpenter? Of course. I didn't like that at all. But there's gonna feel like days where this is just work. Now, there are the select elite. It's not even elite, it's just the number is so minuscule. And believe me, I talk with a lot of friends that do a lot of cool stuff, and it's work. They're leading movements, but it's work. There's a grind, as it were, to it. But not every day is going to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to do this. But there are days where I do feel that. There are days where I can't believe that I get to do a lot of the cool shit that I get to do. But I do believe it because I go, you put in the work. You were the guy when you were building this business that was up at 4 a.m. and would go to bed at 10 p.m. to make sure that this was successful. And you loved doing it. And you still love it. But now you've moved into this thing where you're not just getting paid for what you do, but you're getting paid for who you are. It's just a different set of skills. It's a different kind of work, but it's still work. My favorite analogy is you go ask an NFL linebacker if he's doing what he loves, which it is. He's playing NFL. But ask him when he's in the squat rack with 505 on his back and he's having to do 10 reps of that for 10 sets so he can really build up his quads to be able to sustain some crazy ass offensive tackle trying to knock him out of the play who's 385 pounds. You ask him if that feels like work. And he's going to be like, damn right, it feels like work. I'm sweating like a fool. Of course it's work. Just because what you're doing feels like work doesn't necessarily, it's not meant to be for you. One of my favorite quotes is from Brendan Burchard, where he said, sometimes we don't need new work. We need to show up to old work in a new way. And I like that because now it's the attitude with which you're approaching that work. It's the attitude that you're showing up. There's a Bible verse that says, he who's been faithful with a little will be entrusted much. That's attitude. You're faithful to shepherd and steward and be a good steward of the things that were given to you. And if you can handle them when they're small, you'll be able to translate that and handle it when it's big. I know that some of you watch my videos looking to get into real estate or looking to do something entrepreneurially. I'm aware of that. I read your comments. I get your DMs. I get the emails. I see you at conferences that I speak at. And I want to encourage you that if you're still working a job, be the best damn person in that position while you're there. There's a skill, there's something being trained in you that as you do something on the side and build up what you're doing and you're putting your 100% focus in that, when it's time to do that, and when you're doing this job here, whether it's 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day or whatever it is, 40 hours a week or more, be focused, to be great and be good at that. And when that's done, click it off and then do the same thing, be focused, be good, and turn into this. I think that what happens is people say, you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. I just think people start to feel like if something feels like work, it's not the right thing. Kobe, LeBron, anybody at the top of their game in physical athletics is putting in the work, doing the work. Let me give you a very good example where I think a lot of people miss out on this. You read a good book and they have questions at the end of the chapter that they want you to answer. Do you skip those or do you do them? I do them. Why? Because I know that there's some sort of exercise that they want me to write down so that I can see it or think about what I would actually have to say. That's doing the work when you're working on yourself. So if you've thought to yourself, man, this feels like a lot like work, or maybe you quit your job and you're all in on this new business, but now it's starting to feel like work, guess what? It's going to be work. But like the Apostle Paul said, do not grow weary while doing good, for in due season you will reap a harvest. And the whole purpose of this video is I just don't want you to grow discouraged while you're working so hard, thinking that there will be no payoff. The payoff is coming. There's a payoff now, who you're becoming character-wise, and there's a payoff coming in the future from all of this beautiful hard work you put in. He was using an agricultural term, a farming term. Dude, sow, plant, water. It's going to tend, get rid of the weeds, then harvest. That's a time frame. Stephen Covey talks so much about it in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Talks about seasons and understanding it takes time. So if what you're doing today feels like work, good. Embrace it. Have the attitude of I'm a hard-ass worker. I'm going to do the work because I want the payoff, and I'm not going to quit because it feels like work. If you have heard that, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, just know it's complete bullshit. I've met comedians at the top of their game. I've met sports stars at the top of their game. I've met a lot of people at the top of their game, and they're working. Don't be deceived. If you like this video, like it. If you think others should hear it, share it, and be sure to subscribe so that way you can hear and get all these videos as they come live to you on a weekly basis. I share it because I want to help. I share it because I wish somebody would have told me this and I wouldn't have wasted years looking for non-work work. It's all going to feel like work. So show up, do the work. Take care. All right, so if you're wanting to learn how to raise more private money, go to www.privatemoneypro.com, www.privatemoneypro.com, where I can show you how to be a private money pro. Take care and go rock it.